Yeah. Promised Neverland, 03/11/45. Episode 9? Yes, episode 9. Good. Yes. Very good. There's a lot of bits I did really enjoy about this. Some stuff I went to more traditional shonens and a couple twists, but some things that could have been improved on, and one thing I can't believe they did. Let's talk about it. So, episode starts off with where we left off last time, with obviously Emma's leg broken, and basically revealing that Norman's due date was soon. However, we learn that he is going to be shipped out tomorrow, and that is obviously super important for the story, because they're trying to decipher, their main thing is what are we going to do now? And I do love Isabel in that scene as well, just because she's very much what are you going to do about it? She's let's go back like normal, because no one could do anything about it at this point. It's at the worst situation. Emma's leg's broken, so she's not leaving anytime soon, and they make it very clear. It's that line where she's like, oh, Emma, your leg's broken, I hope it does heal in time for Ray's birthday, because obviously he's going away in January, and yeah, it's not looking great for them. And obviously they're like, what do we do? When they're all kind of pissed off about it. But Norman has seemed like he's come to terms with it. And obviously Emma's like, we will get you out of here, I promise you this. And he's like, no, it's fine. He doesn't even answer it, actually. He's just like, do you want some more water? And he's very just nice and smiley. And that scene obviously where he's walking over there, it's they like to use a lot of walking shots in this, which isn't bad. I guess it fills time a bit too. That scene where he's going to get the glass of water, right? And obviously he has that moment. It just represents him so well, and it's done that's the intention of it. But obviously, the water is struggling to get out, right? It's restraining itself. But then the tap, it's hard to turn. You've really got to put the effort into it. But when you do get through for it, it just floods out. All the water does. It's shoots straight out, and that's when Norman starts to break down, and we see that on him. And even just the look in his eyes, we can tell the difference, because obviously when he's being honest with himself, it's all the lines and which are the bags under his eyes, because he just found out tomorrow he's gonna die, and there's nothing he can do about it, right? And I do sympathise with him on that, because obviously it's a question of a big question of Promised Neverland is would you rather live a happy life and just surprise you're dead one day, you don't know when you're gonna live, you don't know when your last day is gonna be, or would you prefer the truth and then just to die that way? And honestly, I'm more of the truth kind of guy. I would rather learn that, because then I'm okay, then I can plan out everything I want to do. But in any case, it's heartbreaking. At the end of the day, this kid's 11, and he's been told you're gonna die, or is he 12? He's 11 or 12. That doesn't matter. He's still a kid, and he should be told, yeah, you're gonna die. And it's really sad, this scene. But obviously, he pulls it back together before he goes in to see Emma and Ray. He thinks it's just Emma, because obviously it's a broken leg, and he's like, I've got to be there for them. And he's like, listen, I can't escape, but I'll sacrifice my life so you can escape. And I love this scene. Obviously, first of all, they come up with a plan, right? And the thing about the plan is, obviously, they're like, oh, Norman, you run away, you go hide, and then when it's time for the escape, you can escape with the rest of us. And then at first I was like, solid plan, that's great. The only problem with that is, even before the episode ended, I was like, something is obviously going to go wrong, because they revealed the plan to us. Because it takes away from the tension. If we immediately know the plan and the plan goes well, it's a bit more boring. Whereas if that was the actual plan and they didn't tell us this, and Norman one day we wouldn't see this, and then it would probably just play the exact scene later on in the episode, except if without us knowing the plan, it would have gone she would have gone, where's Norman? We were like, where is Norman? And then maybe cut back to that, and obviously show Emma and Ray smiling oh, they got her. But obviously we'll get onto that later on. So there's already that sign. But this next scene I did really love, because it's just such a shonen scene, and it was so good. Obviously Emma broke a leg, and they're like, what are we gonna do? And then Emma was like, oh, Ray, just break your leg, because obviously they figure out if Norman escaped, and Norman was like, listen, I'm not gonna let you guys suffer because of me, because if I go into hiding, then one of you two are gonna have to get sent off, because they need us, we're replaceable. So Emma's immediately yeah, just break your leg or break your arm or something, and then Ray's immediately yes, that's all it takes. And then just that scene, just the idea that they're so ready to help each other out, that they're that ready to break their bones for each other. It's so great. They're that ready to get sick. And literally, it's what this whole operation is. Risking their lives so that they can escape, so that they can actually live. It was such a great scene, just seeing how ready they were to actually help each other out. In an instant, Ray wasn't laughing at first, but he was instantly yes, of course, yeah, what should I do? Break my arm or break my leg? And they're like, well, if not, I'll get ill. But like, because they also know, like, you know, they're special. They're going to want to send them off in the best condition possible, which I thought was great. I just thought, like, that whole thinking was great, and, like, it was, like, very good. It was just such, like, yes, guys. Scene. I just loved it. And then obviously Norman eventually breaks down after, like, he eventually gets back on board to escape. And just that scene where obviously, like, you know, his eyes change back before he even, like, he gets the lines before he even starts breaking up. And even just the way he's like, yeah, as he breaks into tears, I love that. I do. It's just, it was so nice because he's like, you feel for him, and and it's like, you know, it's his way of going, you like, he accepted death, and then he eventually, like, just this actual opportunity of life comes back. It's great for him. But right, let me explain. I've been watching anime for a while, and it can get pretty weird at times. Let's face it, it's anime. There's the genuine weirdness about it. But this scene might take the cake. It's been a while since I've been this shot from a scene, so we then obviously learn about, like, you know, they ask Ray, how long have you known about this all? And they're like, oh, yeah, you know, it's like, then he explains, like, infantile amnesia, which is obviously the idea is as you grow older, and this is true for everyone, you know, age, like, you forget your memories as a baby. And then they're like, you don't have that? And I was so ready for him to say, like, yeah, pretty much since I was born, like from a very, very young age, I still have a lot of clear memories about what happened. I really did not expect him to say, I remember when I was a fetus. It's so ridiculous. I get it, who's giving all this whole backstory of, like, that, of, like, oh, this is what happened here and there. Like, yes, there's definitely 5 plants and everything like that. I was laughing the whole time. I genuinely was like, fetus! Like, it was so stupid and ridiculous. Honestly, that's how I felt about it. That, like, I laughed. And, like, I've seen a lot happen in anime, okay? Like, a lot of ridiculous stuff. That is certainly, I think it's just I wasn't expecting it is the main thing, but oh, just the seriousness of his face when he was like, I remember when I was a fetus. Alright, mate, calm down. But in any case, as it plays out the rest of the episode, we basically learn that there's, like, adults and demons, and maybe my view isn't very clear on it, just because obviously I was laughing at that. But adults and demons are out there, but at the same time Ray's like, it's fine, don't worry about it. Will escape, but he makes it clear that these guys are threats, but the demons will never show up, obviously, because of, like, nurturing the minds, because the best way the minds are going to grow is through, like, a happy, healthy environment where emotions are, like, let free, and people are, like, to be who they want to be. These kids are to be just pure and happy and work hard, and that gives them the best environment. However, nothing. Let's carry on. I really liked this scene because obviously it's revealed, like, the end bit was incredible, I thought, because obviously, you know, Norman escapes and, like, the plan's going well, this is all great, like, he disables the track, like, you think he's disabled the tracker, gets on top of the wall finally, like, the first person to actually do that, and I'm like, yes, here we go. Norman looks out onto the forest and, like, it's time, and it's great. And it ends obviously with that scene where she's like, where's Norman? And she looks at the clock, and you're waiting for that moment for the face to drop. But the fact is, like, they build it up so much, obviously, because they're super excited and built up about everything, that you know it's not going to go the way they want. But I genuinely did not think Norman would willingly walk back. And, like, you know something's wrong, and even before we see the end, you know something has happened, because the way he walks into Isabel's shadow, it just purely explains, like, he has truly given up now, and, like, he's ready, like, he knows there's no escape. He's walked into the embrace, and this explains a lot why Isabel's been so, like, kind of, like, you know, she hasn't been like, what are you doing, like, you know, like, fully chasing them, because obviously the end explains why she's been so lax about this all. So, just like you said, that scene where he walked into her shadow was great. I love that so much. It just fully represented, like, you know, his, like I said, he's done. But another scene I really liked, actually, it's only small, but, like, the bit obviously after Norman says, like, they announce Norman's leaving, is just obviously, that everyone doing their own little things, so, like, Gilda making the rope, and, like, Ray's reading a book and things like that. It's, like, just, like, calm before the storm. So it's even just, like, building up the hype to go, okay, something big's going to happen, and then something big did happen, and then obviously Ray's super pissed off with Norman, he's like, what the hell did you do that for? And at first I was like, Norman may have some kind of plan, like, for a moment, well, I say that for a moment, because obviously with the scene with the shadow, but, you know, he's like, I'm not running. We can't, and then obviously his face kind of said it all before as well, but then the big reveal, the big drop, some might say. there's a cliff. There's a cliff. That is literally a cliffhanger episode. It is literally a cliffhanger episode because there's a cliff, except no one's hanging, so maybe not. It's a cliff episode. We're halfway there, but just how. This is a great ending though, because once again I'm asking myself, how are they going to get out of this? There've been a couple of times where I'm like, okay, this will get resolved, but like this is one where I'm like, how are they going to get out of this? They can't go over it. They can't go through it. It's generally I don't know, and this is what's great about the build-up for it. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, and I don't have a clue. I don't have any other points, but I think there's, like I said, some scenes were done incredibly well. So, like, obviously, like I said, Norman with the tap and Norman going to Isabel in the shadow, I thought was great. I love the shonen-ness of, like, of Emma, Norman, and Ray when they're ready to, like break their bones for each other. I was like, I just love that. But, of course, the fetus scene was ridiculous to me, and, obviously, the cliff. The cliff. And then Phil's doing something still. What's Phil doing? Thank you for watching, Phil!
You're right here to kiss me when I want some. Oh yeah, you're right here to hold